Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So this is the reason why I believe Kell Brook will defeat Errol Spence. And let me put a disclaimer out. If you put a gun to my head today, I would put my money on Kell Brook. And I haven't broke down the fight. I haven't really looked at 10 fights like I typically do before the fights and break it down and give you guys my damn near 1,000% breakdown of most fights that occur. Uh, I say that for this reason alone. Errol Spence is going into this fight down 2 rounds. And you say, how can you be down 2 rounds? You know those 50-50 rounds that we saw in Triple G and Daniel Jacobs? Those rounds go to Kell Brook. Errol Spence is traveling. And I know you guys say, well, he fought in the World Championships as an amateur, Olympics. But let me tell you something. There's a big difference between fighting in the amateurs and fighting in the pros. If Errol Spence don't take his entire camp over there, as a matter of fact, if I'm Errol Spence, I would get there 2 or 3 weeks earlier just to get acclimated to the time change. I don't think a week is enough for a fight this big where you're going to need more than talent to win this fight. It's going to take a lot of preparation to beat a Kell Brook. There's no game plan for 30,000 fans screaming in your ear, as we saw in football. I'm not sure if you guys saw when LSU is playing Auburn or something like that, and they bring in those speakers. They still say there's nothing like it. They're gonna have to simulate that fight. They're gonna have to simulate speakers while they sparring, and he's getting directions. You have to make this as game-like as possible, as we did on Thursdays in our football practice. We tried to simulate every scenario possible in our last live day when we played football in college. And but he's gonna have to take a chef over there. He's gonna have to take a personal assistant over there. A personal assistant, not the PBC assistant, meaning that the person that goes makes sure the chef is doing his job, make sure the trainers are doing their job, taking care of the flights, all the family that's coming over, all his personal friends and personal phone calls. There's a lot that goes on in this. If he goes on Monday, I wouldn't think that's a good idea. We saw how irritated Triple G was with the traffic and everything was. So I would suggest that he gets there minimum 2 weeks before the fight, get acclimated to the air, the elevation. I don't know what the elevation is over there. I don't know what the gyms look like over there, but he needs to make sure that he 100% prepares. Every detail possible needs to travel with him. You understand? Even if he has to come out of his pocket an extra $30,000 of personal money, $50,000 personal money, he needs to make sure he does it. If he has to bring his ring over, this is a stretch of the imagination, but if he has to bring an actual ring over there, the ring size, he needs to start training in the ring size. If they've already agreed to that, he's gonna have to simulate that crowd noise. I would say if the fight is May 27th, I would say at least by Cinco de Mayo, they start bringing in the crowd noise. They start bringing in hecklers and stuff like that, because it's going to take everything. I'm not talking about his talent, guys. I'm talking about the hurdles he will have to overcome. And it's going to be an obstacle. So talent-wise, Errol Spence has the talent. But if you put a gun to I'm rooting for Errol Spence. 100% will I be rooting for Errol Spence. Every fabric of my being will be rooting for Errol Spence. But as we get close to the fight, I'll make my prediction. But this is just, I would say, a looking 50,000 feet at the fight. This is not my actual prediction, but Errol Spence needs to cross his T's and dot his I's for this fight, because this ain't no ordinary fight. To us, it's an ordinary fight. But the devil is in the details in this fight. The devil is in the details. Who's the lead promoter? Eddie Hearn. What belt is he fighting for at IBF? Who runs the IBF? Eddie Hearn. So has Kell Brook ever come back to America to defend his belt? No. How much money has Kell Brook made? Millions. All right, so let's be cognizant, and I hope this video gets to Errol Spence. I hope I fucking piss him off to the point of him training an extra 10 to 15 minutes a day, understanding what he's going up against. And truth be told, it's going to fall on the shoulders of his trainers preparing Errol Spence outside the ring. You know, ticket requests, travel requests, the food, everything needs to be predetermined. He needs to have a personal assistant. What hotel is he staying at? What type of foods does he need? Who's the chef over? Is there an American chef over there in Sheffield that can prepare the foods that he needs to eat? Or is he taking the chef with him? Is there the supermarket close by? I mean, these are just things I'm thinking off the top of my head. You know, more importantly, the water. You guys may say, oh, what? And in some cities in America, the water is more dense. I'm not sure if you guys can pick up on that, but I know the water in New York is heavier than the water in California. I taste it every time I go back home. Well, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why I laugh, because when I say home in California, I'm talking about New York, and then I say home when I'm in New York, I'm talking about California. So I'm laughing to myself, but just understand what the hell I'm saying. And if you played any kind of sports at the college level, you know the type of discipline it takes to win these road games. You know, but this is the Super Bowl. He's playing in the Super Bowl. So he can't be meddling around, just training in the gym. He needs to have someone holding his trainers accountable, holding his personal assistant accountable. But he needs you can't simulate it to the T, but you need to simulate it, you know. So tweet this to Errol Spence. Hope this inspires him. I'm rooting for him. There's no way I'm not rooting for Errol Spence. No way impossible. I'm going to be in front of my TV May 27th rooting my ass off for Errol Spence, for real. You know, Barbershop Conversations, hit the subscribe button, and let's make sure Errol is prepared for this fight. All right, because a lot of people go over there and they get shell-shocked. Not over there. I'm over there meaning England for this fight, but in other countries you get shell-shocked. And we already know what happens when you go into someone's backyard. We've seen it in every sport. You know, so shit, you see it when you go to grandma's house, how she protect her no good son, right? Your no good uncle. Well, he gonna be all right, baby. He gonna be all right. You know, the good Lord gonna take care of him. You know, Big Mama, grandma always love her children. You know, he could take $10 out of her purse, go get a hit, and she'll lie and say, "No, he didn't take the $10. I have the $10 in my purse right now. He didn't take it." And all 6 of her kids saw him take it. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man. Errol Spence, you don't got to, it's not just only in the ring for this fight. I know you have a young trainer. I'm not sure if he's trained a world-class champion, you know, out for the major 4 belts. But know those 50-50 rounds won't be yours. Don't even, if there's a 50-50 round in this fight, Errol Spence, assume you lost it. All right, so I'm not telling you to fight anxious. I'm telling you to know what you're up against. All right, I don't want you running into anything. Yeah. So anyways, Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.